this place without interstates. we left at the crack of dawn because the show, as I recall, the first one was probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 2, okay. And Mrs. Wedgeworth, bless her heart, was the one who made arrangements, got the hotel and the whole thing. And then there was Fran Avery, there was Royce Bird, Eleanor Connolly, of course, my best friend at the time, myself, and Gloria and her mother. So I don't know, somebody got tickets. I guess maybe Mrs. Wedgeworth did. I don't know. Someone got tickets for it and made the hotel reservation. And I'm assuming, again, it had to be Mrs. Wedgeworth, right? I mean, we were teenagers. We wouldn't have done it. And then we were all excited, and that was it.
So what time did you actually arrive at Tupelo?
We arrived just in time to check into the hotel and go to the fair. Yeah, and like I said, we left, bright and early, because I know we had to go by Fran Avery's house, who was still sleeping, because everybody had, was supposed to be up at a certain time. We had to go by her house. She was still sleeping. I jumped out of the car because we had always been real good friends from, and ran upstairs and, ran, She got out of bed and grabbed her stuff, and we went running down the stairs. Because at that time, nobody locked their doors. That was it. Her mother and father were sleeping, her sisters or sister, whichever she had at the time. And probably never knew we were there or anything. I mean, they knew Fran was going, but it was, and then off we went.
So when you got to the fairgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
tell me how you decided on where you would sit and all that.
Okay, we walked into the fairgrounds, and to me it was huge. I mean, I don't know if it was really as big, but just it was enormous. So we walked in, and people had started gathering, and everybody was staking out their spot, and there were bleachers in the back, and so they suggested that we go all the way up to the top of the bleachers, and then we would have a good, like bird's eye view. And I said, no, that's not good. I mean, who wants to be way up there? So we wandered through the crowd. As well as I remember, we were not able to make our way down initially. We gradually worked our way through the crowd. And then when we saw an opening and just kind of, wiggled through there, and then got right there at front. And then once we got there, then we staked out our spot. That was our spot. Because in some of the old pictures that I've seen, where I was reaching and screaming and so wouldn't it make sense that he's going to go to the one that's making the biggest fuss? The squeaky wheel? Because I heard a lot of the kids later on going, yeah, they set that up. They set that up. Well, hell no, they did not set that up, because I'm very spontaneous, and when I told you, when you make eye contact with somebody, that's it. I said, I'm going up there, here. Boost me, push me, shove me, do whatever you have to do, but I'm going up there. So it wasn't planned.
So all your buddies helped you up?
They helped me up, and I think they were happy for me, but you told me later that there could have been maybe a little bit of jealous.
Gloria said they were real thrilled, but then when you got to go backstage later, that's when they were like, darn.
Yeah, I know, because, and I know they were thrilled because when we got back to the hotel, they helped give me a bath. I mean, really, it was like, we probably wouldn't have bathed to go back the second time because, you know, you just want to grab a bite to eat and run back. But I remember that. It's funny that I should remember something silly like that. But that they were, you know, helping fix my hair, and I was getting all fixed up and everything. So they were happy for me. In fact, I had only taken black T-shirts and black pants because those were the colors. And Fran Avery had the blouse that I'm wearing in the photo with Elvis and I was Fran Avery's, because she said, well, Judy, she said, don't you think maybe this will look nicer instead of just wearing a black T-shirt? And I said, yeah, probably would. So, you know, so they were happy for me.
Your mom and dad got a kick out of your little stunt at the Tupelo Fair.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They were excited for me because they knew that I was excited.
Did you go home telling them about it, or did you wait for them to find it?
I didn't. No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I didn't. And what am I, you know, I don't know why I didn't. But the first that they knew is, like I said, when he opened it up and said, come look here. And I said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Maybe I was embarrassed to tell them. I forgot to tell you, you know, I jumped on the stage.
Did they ever get to see the Fox Movietone newsreel that's got you jumping up on stage?
The what now?
There's a Fox, remember the old Fox Movietone newsreels that were shown in the theaters before movies?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's one telling about Elvis's appearance at the 56 Fair.
Oh no, I don't think I ever saw that.
It's got you jumping up on stage and throwing your arms around Elvis and being carried off stage.
Well, I'll tell you where I did see that. I don't recall seeing it at the time, but not too long ago, was it the anniversary of his death, or they were commemorating something, I can't recall, on Larry King Live, which, big fan of Larry King's suspenders and all. But on Larry King Live, they showed that. And my son, I was in Las Vegas at the time, and so my son went to the computer and emailed, I'm the little girl who jumped on stage, and right after that, they probably have someone sitting there reading emails as it comes in, right? Because right after that, then they kept showing it over and over and over. So that was exciting, yeah. And incidentally, I made friends from the newspaper clippings, because the next day, I think I don't believe the Commercial Appeal, or it could have been, but I know my father took the Commercial Appeal in the morning, Memphis Press Emitter in the afternoon. And he was sitting there in the chair in the living room, and he said, oh, good God, Judy, come look at this. And I looked, and they were like, it was a 2-page spread, you know, of me going, you know, being boosted and the whole thing. And so anyway, to make a long story short, from the newspaper clippings and from them, you know, having my name and age in Alamo, Tennessee. At that time, that's all you had to know was Alamo, Tennessee. And I got several letters from girls across the Mid-South who said, oh, you know, we were just so happy for you. And one in particular, her name was Barbara Skates, McKenzie, Tennessee. And she somehow we, letters and phone calls, and she invited me to visit. I think I went for the weekend, and we snuck away with her boyfriend, a friend of hers and her boyfriend, and then I was the fifth wheel, if that's what you want to call it. They said, we're going to Memphis. We're going to Beale Street. Beale Street? Oh. So we took off, telling her mother and father that, I don't know where we said we were going, but anyway, we drove from McKinsey, Tennessee to Memphis and went on Beale Street and wandered around Beale Street, and I think saw the Sun Studio. Was it the Sun Studio? Wherever he made his record, his first record. The record for Sun. I think it was. Oh, okay.
But it's close.
But it was very, very exciting to wander around Beale Street.
Well, for a little 14-year-old girl from Alamo, Tennessee, this must have been one hell of a day.
It was, but when you're 14, every day's one hell of a day. So, that was it. I did it, it was over, and I went on with, stuff that I did. But I followed his career. And then, of course, like I said, when he came back from the Army and he brought his bride-to-be, then I knew I stood no chance.
Though, what was it like when you got back to Alamo after this event, the people at school and so forth?
Nobody really made a big fuss over it. I mean, you're talking about a little town with 1,700 people at the time, and I'm sure, not too many more now. But it was just, they go about their everyday affairs, business. No, nobody made a big to-do over it. My brother-in-law, who was my brother-in-law at the time, did. He was going to school up in Martin. He and my sister, I think, had not been married very long, and he was going to school there, and they were living up there. And he called me Blondie, because of the blonde hair. And he said, Blondell, I saw you in the newspaper. You're all over the newspapers. What's the matter with you carrying on like that? I said, well, it's Elvis Presley. What do you expect? But no, I guess the people in Alamo, I can't remember any changes. Back to school, on with my basketball and my sports that I played, and that was it.